What's up, Broncos Country? How's it going? Family, check out the gift that just fell into the Denver Broncos' lap right during bye week. While the team rests with a record of 9 wins and only 2 losses, a truck-sized opportunity just emerged in the free agent market. And the best part? This guy has a direct connection with Sean Payton. That's right, Broncos Country. You already know what that means. Wednesday was a busy day in the NFL, and while many teams took the opportunity to rest and prepare for the final stretch of the season, bombshell news shook the league. A veteran wide receiver with years of experience, who's played for the biggest teams in the conference, was released. And guess what? He's got everything to do with our head coach Sean Payton. We're talking about Brandin Cooks, folks. That's right, the guy who was drafted by Payton back in 2014 by the Saints. And now, after a return stint in New Orleans, he's available on the market, ready to sign with any franchise that wants to add experience and talent to their roster. But hold on, because things get even more interesting when we analyze the timing of this release. The Denver Broncos are in their bye week, the perfect moment to evaluate the roster, identify needs, and, who knows, make a strategic move that could make all the difference in the playoffs. And if there's one position that could use a veteran reinforcement right now, it's precisely the receiver group. Let's be honest here, Denver Broncos family. Our wide receiver group has done a decent job this season, but it's no secret to anyone that we've had problems with dropped balls at crucial moments. How many times have we seen our receivers let perfect passes fall to the ground on important third downs? How many opportunities have been wasted due to lack of concentration or execution? This is exactly the type of problem that a veteran like Brandin Cooks can help solve. We're not talking about a rookie who's still learning the game. We're talking about a guy who's seen it all in this league, who's played in Super Bowls, who's faced the best defenses in the NFL, and who knows exactly what it takes to win when the spotlight is on. Brandin Cooks is 32 years old and was a first-round pick in 2014. In his first 3 years with the Saints under Sean Payton's command, he accumulated an impressive 2,861 yards and 20 touchdowns. Those numbers don't lie, folks. The guy knew how to find the end zone and knew how to produce when the ball came to his hands. After his initial stint with the Saints, Cooks traveled the league like few others. He wore the Patriots' colors, where he had the chance to play with Tom Brady. Then he went to the Rams, where he was part of one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL at that time. He played for the Texans, where he was one of the few bright spots during difficult times for that franchise. He played for the Cowboys, bringing experience to a team always under pressure. And now, after returning to the Saints this season, he's available on the market again. Look, I know what some of you are thinking now. You're looking at his numbers this season and seeing 19 receptions for 165 yards in 10 games with the Saints. And yes, those numbers aren't spectacular. But let's look beyond the superficial statistics for a moment. First, Cooks was playing in New Orleans, a team that went through a lot of turbulence this season. The Saints' offense hasn't been productive, and when the offense as a whole doesn't work, it's hard for any individual receiver to stand out. Second, and perhaps more important, we're talking about a guy who throughout his entire career has maintained averages of 4.3 receptions and 57.7 yards per game. That's consistency, family. Consistency is exactly what the Denver Broncos need right now. We don't need a guy who's going to put up 200 yards in one game and disappear for the next 3. We need someone that Sean Payton can put on the field, knowing he'll be in the right position, will run the correct route, and will hold onto the ball when it comes to his hands. And here's where the connection with Sean Payton becomes absolutely crucial. Broncos Country. Payton was the one who drafted Cooks. He was the one who developed the player in his early years in the league. They already have an established relationship. They already have chemistry built over the years. This means the adaptation time would be minimal. Cooks already knows Payton's style, already knows what the coach expects from him, already understands the offensive philosophy, Just imagine the Denver Broncos signed Brandon Cooks during bye week, and when the team returns to play in Week 13, they already have a veteran integrated into the system, ready to contribute immediately. No need to wait weeks for him to learn the playbook. No need to waste time with adaptation processes. It's practically plug and play, folks. Now let's talk about what this move would mean for our current receiver group. We have talented young players on the roster without a doubt, but what's missing is precisely that veteran presence, that guy who's been in every possible situation and can bring calm and leadership in pressure moments. Think with me. We're heading to the playoffs. Defenses will get more aggressive, games will get more physical, the margin for error will drastically decrease. In those moments, having a veteran like Cooks in the huddle can make all the difference. He can calm down the younger guys, can share his experience, can show by example how to behave when everything is on the line. And there's another detail that can't go unnoticed. During the trade deadline, rumors emerged that the Broncos front office had interest in trading for Jalen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins. This clearly shows that the organization recognizes the need to add more talent at the wide receiver position. The problem is they couldn't make that move happen before the deadline. But now, with Brandon Cooks available on the free agent market, a second chance emerges to strengthen the group, and maybe even a better chance considering the connection with Payton and the fact that it wouldn't be necessary to give up draft picks to bring him in. Let's be realistic about one thing: Denver Broncos family. Until the beginning of next offseason, we won't be able to make major additions via trade or free agency. The market is practically closed. So if we want to improve the roster for this playoff run, this might literally be the only opportunity we'll have. It's now or never. And let's not forget the bigger context here. The Denver Broncos are sitting at 9 wins and 2 losses. We're in a privileged position in the playoff standings. We have a young quarterback who's growing each week. We have a defense that's playing at an extremely high level. We have a coach in Sean Payton who knows exactly how to win important games. Everything is aligning for a deep playoff run, folks. But to maximize our chances, we need to have all the pieces in place, and adding a reliable veteran like Brandon Cooks could be exactly the missing piece of the puzzle. Now I want you to think about the psychological impact, too. When you add a player with Cooks' resume to your roster right in the middle of the season, you're sending a clear message to the entire locker room. We're going all in. The organization is committed to doing whatever it takes to win. We're not satisfied just making the playoffs. We want to go all the way. This type of message energizes a team, Broncos Country. It shows that leadership is willing to make bold decisions, that they're constantly looking for ways to improve. And for the players who are already giving their blood on the field every week, it's a validation of their hard work. It's like saying, you deserve all the support possible. Let's also talk about the versatility that Cooks would bring to our offense. He's not a one-trick pony receiver. Throughout his career, he's demonstrated the ability to play inside and outside, to run deep and intermediate routes, to be effective in third-down situations. This versatility would give Sean Payton more options to put together the game plan every week. Payton is known for his offensive creativity, for his ability to exploit favorable matchups and create schemes that leave defenders confused. Imagine what he could do having a versatile veteran like Cooks at his disposal. The possibilities are endless, folks, and we can't ignore the experience factor in important games. Cooks has already played in some of the most crucial games in the NFL. He knows what it's like to play in January, when every possession can determine your entire season. He knows what it's like to face the league's best cornerbacks when everything is on the line. That kind of experience is priceless, family. For our younger receivers, having Cooks in the locker room would be like having a private tutor. They could learn from him every day at practice, observe how he prepares for games, absorb his knowledge about how to study defenses, and find gaps in coverage. This would accelerate their development in a way that no amount of traditional coaching could achieve. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Cooks is on waivers, which means any team can claim him. And given his experience and connections with coaches around the league, it's very likely that other teams are also interested. So if the Denver Broncos really want to make this move, they need to act quickly and decisively. The good news is we're in position to make a waiver claim if we want to. And given our current record of 9-2, it would be perfectly justifiable to make this move. We're not talking about a rebuilding team desperately trying to find pieces. We're talking about a legitimate contender making a calculated move to maximize their chances of success. Tell me, Broncos Country, don't you think this would be the perfect move right now? Imagine adding a proven veteran who already has chemistry with our coach, who can contribute immediately, and who costs nothing but salary cap space. It's practically a risk-free move with enormous potential reward. And let's think about the playoff impact specifically. When you get to January and face the best teams in the conference, every small advantage can make the difference between winning and going home. Having a reliable fourth or fifth receiver who can make plays in crucial moments could be exactly that advantage. Remember, playoff games are often decided by one or two decisive plays, a third-and-long conversion, a touchdown pass at a critical moment, a difficult reception in traffic that keeps a drive alive. Brandon Cooks has made all these plays countless times throughout his career. He has the ice-cold blood necessary to execute when the pressure is at its highest. And don't forget the financial aspect either. As a free agent being released, Cooks wouldn't cost much in terms of salary cap. The Denver Broncos have enough space to absorb his contract without problems. It's not like we're talking about a move that would compromise our financial flexibility for next offseason. It's a low-cost investment with potentially very high return. If you ask me, Denver Broncos family, this is exactly the type of smart and calculated move that winning teams make. Teams that are satisfied just participating sit still and hope that what they have is enough. Teams that want to win championships are constantly looking for ways to improve, taking advantage of opportunities when they arise. And this opportunity arose at the absolutely perfect moment. During bye week, when we have time to integrate a new player without the pressure of having a game the following week. With more than half the season already complete, which means any new player will have enough time to make an impact, and at a time when we're clearly positioned as legitimate contenders. Now, I know some might argue that we shouldn't mess with a winning team. After all, we're sitting at 9 wins in 11 games. Why risk changing the locker room chemistry by bringing in someone new? And I understand that concern, folks. I really do. But here's the thing. Adding Brandon Cooks isn't messing with the winning team. It's supporting the winning team. It's recognizing that, although we're doing a great job, there's always room to improve. And especially at a position where we've had some problems with drops this year, adding another reliable pair of hands can only help. Think of it this way. If one of our starting receivers suffers an injury in the coming weeks, where would we be in terms of depth? Would we have reliable options ready to step in and produce immediately? With Cooks on the roster, that answer would be a definite yes. Without him, it's a question mark, and we're not just talking about being an insurance policy against injuries. We're talking about giving Sean Payton more tools to work with, more options to exploit favorable matchups, more ways to attack defenses that are studying our film every week trying to stop us. Defenses in the playoffs are going to be prepared, family. They'll know what our favorite routes are, what our most used concepts are, who our preferred targets are in critical situations. Having a veteran like Cooks available gives Payton the ability to surprise those defenses, to show different looks, to keep them off balance. Have you also stopped to think about what this would mean for our quarterback's development? Having more reliable options on the field would only make his life easier. More open targets, more windows to throw the ball, more confidence to attack aggressive defenses. This accelerates his growth and increases our chances of immediate success. Look, I'm going to be straight with you, Broncos Country. Opportunities like this don't come every day. a productive veteran with a direct connection to our coach, available right in the middle of a season where we're legitimate contenders. It's almost too good to be true. And when opportunities like this appear, you have to seize them without hesitation. Hesitation is for teams that don't have ambition. Hesitation is for organizations that are comfortable with mediocrity. The Denver Broncos is not that type of organization, and Broncos Country is not that type of fan base. We want excellence. We demand excellence. And excellence means constantly looking for ways to improve. So yes, I firmly believe the Denver Broncos should bring in Brandon Cooks. I believe he could make significant contributions to our success for the rest of this season. I believe his experience and leadership would be invaluable in the playoffs. And I believe that a few months from now, when we're lifting the Super Bowl trophy, we'll look back and see this move as one of the decisions that made the difference. But what about you, family? Do you agree? Do you think Brandon Cooks would be a good addition to our roster? Or do you prefer to stick with what we have and fully trust the current group? If you're true Broncos Country and want to follow all the news, analysis, and discussions about our team during this exciting final stretch of the season, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss any videos, because every week we'll be here bringing you everything that happens with the Denver Broncos family. I really think we're living through a special moment, folks. There's that feeling in the air, that sensation that something big is about to happen. The team is playing with confidence. The defense is dominating. The offense is finding its rhythm. And if we can add one more piece like Brandon Cooks to this puzzle, who knows how far we can go. The playoffs are coming, family. And when you're building a team for a deep run in January and February, every detail matters. Every player counts. Every decision can be the difference between glory and disappointment. And I believe bringing in Brandon Cooks would be one of those decisions that gives us that extra edge we need. Think about how it would be to see Cooks running across the field at Mile High Stadium in that orange and blue jersey, making important receptions, helping take the Denver Broncos back to the top. Think about the energy that would bring to the locker room, to practices, to games. It would be sensational, Broncos Country. And look, even if Cooks isn't the savior who's going to solve all our problems alone, he would be a valuable piece of the puzzle. No one is saying he needs to be our number one receiver or put up 200 yards every game. But as a reliable option, as a veteran who can contribute in various ways, as someone who already has chemistry with Payton, that's pure gold, folks. The timing also couldn't be better. We're entering the final stretch of the regular season, where each game becomes more important. Opponents get tougher, pressure increases, margins for error decrease. Having depth and experience at all positions becomes crucial, and Cooks would give us exactly that at the wide receiver position. Besides, let's be honest, the receiver group could use a shakeup. I'm not saying they're playing poorly, but those drops at crucial moments have been frustrating. Bringing in a veteran like Cooks could raise the level of competition at practice, motivate everyone to play better, create an environment where mediocrity is not accepted. Healthy competition within the roster is a positive thing, family. It makes everyone give their best because they know there's someone right behind ready to take their spot if they're not producing. And with a veteran like Cooks in the mix, that competition would be elevated to a new level. Imagine next week's practices if Cooks is signed. Everyone would be watching, everyone would be trying to impress, everyone would be elevating their game. And when you have a competitive environment like that at practice, it translates to better performances in games. It's that simple. And we can't forget the Sean Payton factor here. He knows Cooks better than any other coach in the league. He knows exactly how to get the best out of him, which routes he runs best, in which situations he's most effective. There's no learning curve, no adaptation period. It's like reuniting old friends who know exactly how to work together. Payton is probably already imagining the schemes he could put together with Cooks on the roster. He's probably already visualizing the plays, the matchups, the situations where he would be perfect. And when a coach of Sean Payton's caliber has these ideas, they usually result in points on the scoreboard. So, my personal opinion? The Denver Broncos should absolutely go after Brandon Cooks, should make the waiver claim without hesitation, should bring this proven veteran into the locker room and give him the opportunity to contribute to something special that's being built here. It's not every day that a player with Cook's experience and talent becomes available right in the middle of a season. And when you're in the privileged position we're in, with 9 wins and a real chance to go far in the playoffs, you have to take advantage of these opportunities. You have to be aggressive. You have to be willing to make moves that improve your team. Winning teams don't sit around waiting for luck to appear. They create their own luck by making smart moves, taking advantage of opportunities when they arise, building deep and talented rosters, and bringing in Brandon Cooks would be exactly that type of smart and timely move. So, Broncos Country, do you agree this would be the right move? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing Cooks wearing orange and blue? Or do you think we should focus only on the current roster without adding new pieces? Comment below. Leave a like if you want to see the Denver Broncos go after Brandon Cooks, and share this video with the whole family to see what they think. Because at the end of the day, family, we all want the same thing, to see the Denver Broncos back in the Super Bowl, lifting that trophy, showing the entire league that we're back on top, and if bringing in Brandon Cooks helps us get there, then that's what we should do, without hesitation, without doubts, with total conviction. The season is reaching its most exciting moment, folks. The next 2 months will define everything. So let's take advantage of every opportunity, make every move that makes us stronger, and prepare for an epic run toward the championship. Broncos Country, let's go together all the way.